For the last 3 years, the small town of Pittsfield, Vermont, has been host to a most unconventional competition. It's called the Death Race. Part survivor, part jackass, the race requires participants to complete strenuous, sometimes absurd tasks over a 24-hour period.
The kind of person that signs up for the race is someone who has no limits. They're just basically a lunatic. The kind of person that finishes is an extraordinary person.
Joe DeSena and Andy Weinberg created the Death Race after years of participating in triathlons and adventure races like Eco Challenge. Tasks are designed to challenge both mind and body.
What we have here is task number 1. The athletes are going to start across the street at the Amy Farm at 4 a.m. We have a mud sinkhole, which is right in front of me, which will go down about knee deep. Once they get through the mud, they're going to have to crawl. We've got a barbed wire section here, and it's about 200 yards long, and they're going to have to do a belly crawl in the cold water, mud, and rocks all the way up to their stump. Once they find their stump, which will have their bib number on it, they have to remove the stump from the ground and then come back through the barbed wire and head over to the Amy Farm.
49 people competed in this year's Death Race, up from 39 last year, when only 9 finished. DeSena himself will be an unofficial participant.
I'm participating in the race, so I don't know how difficult the course is this year. Hopefully it follows the last 2 years, in which case you expect about a 10% finishing rate.
My name is Brian LeBlanc, and I'm from Middletown, Connecticut. And I saw this race on the internet about a month and a half ago, and it just seemed like a fun form of abuse.
I'm Eric Ashley, and I am a born and raised Vermonter from a little town called Westford. The first year I was one of 3 finishers, which last year I did not finish, and I'm back to play again.
So my name is Richard Lee, and I'm from Cambridge, England. I'm going to keep going until I cannot physically move.
5, 4.
The race begins promptly at 4 a.m.
Time, go!
This is the 10K.
Nice work. Enjoy.
Good. Go back. Yeah? 455.
This thing has a big root going straight down.
How's that, Andy?
That's perfect.
Some move on quickly to the next task, the mile-long river run. Really more of a walk. They must carry their bikes and stumps for most of the race.
The stump is killing me. I'm hoping we don't have to carry it the whole race.
Royal Marine Richard Lee has built himself a sizable
I'm
lead,
feeling strong.
but the log cutting challenge proves difficult. Ditto for Joe DeSena. It helps to be a Vermont native, like Eric Ashley.
No pain!
Those who press on, like U.S. Marine Tom Worthington, must climb 2,000 vertical feet to the top of Wilcox Mountain. Here they discover a list of 10 U.S. presidents, which they must commit to memory and recite at the bottom. If they miss a president, it's back to the top.
U.S. Marine, how do you not know the presidents?
That's classified.
going.
All right.
George Washington, James Monroe, James Madison,
Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren,
Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe,
John Adams, Thomas Jefferson,
Van Buren, Harrison Tyler.
You want to know the 11th? It's James K. Polk.
Down at the barn, there's more mental gymnastics and more barbed wire. Racers get a bag of Legos and must crawl up a culvert where they find a pre-made cube. They can diagram it, but then must go back down and assemble their Legos exactly the same. Meanwhile, race leader Richard Lee is spotted along the trail.
I've got an egg and some firewood. I'm going to go boil an egg. And you've got to eat the egg, I think.
Joe is not far behind.
I want it to end. I don't care about finishing. I just want it to end.
Richard, the Royal Marine, makes a fire with ease. "8 hours into the race, rain falls hard. Eric finally presents his Legos for approval. There's a problem.
Yeah, you're Niagara. Okay.
One of the pieces is wrong. He must go back up again to fix it.
No. Using B as an initial for black and blue.
The rain wreaks havoc with Joe's fire. Competitors are now spread out all over the course. Racers retrieve their bike wheels and head to Riverside Pond, the site of a peculiar challenge.
They give me their bib number, and right over here we have their bicycle chains in Ziploc bags with the numbers on them, and I take the bag and I throw it deep into the pond, and they have to run and dive into the pond and go get their chain and then put it onto their bike. Just to prove that the chain works, they have to actually get on the bike to ride it up the hill here across the field and come back. And so they've carried their bike now for about 9 hours to ride it for about 5 minutes.
According to Andy Weinberg, at this point more than half of the field has quit. Those who are left will take 20% of their body weight in rocks up the steep mountains.
Follow the pink flagging.
A little bit. That's your son?
Yes.
And how's he doing?
He's doing great.
Why would he do this?
Because he's nuts. He's a Marine. I don't think none of them are right, but he's gung-ho, and I'm sure he'll finish the race hell or high water.
Okay, got it. So he'll be at the finish within an hour.
The rain has stopped. It is only 2 p.m., and the top competitors are surprising everyone with their speed. Richard Lee is still in first.
He is crawling through a section up on the mountain with all of his gear. When he finishes that, he'll check in at a cabin on top of the mountain, and then he'll head for the finish.
Joe is in third.
I just needed to know what we do to these people every year. And I think we should make it easier, Jack.
Go Richard!
Finally, 11.5 hours after the start of the death race,
Death race champions. Congratulations.
the two Marines, Richard Lee and Tom Worthington, cross the finish line.
You're amazing. You know
No, man. Very impressive. Congratulations.
I think it was just very fitting that, Marines both from the UK and the US finished first. So, shows who's the best.
And he caught me up about halfway down the mountain. And we just looked at each other and we're like, well, we can do this one way. We can sprint, we have a real race, or we can do it with dignity and pride. And we were both worried about injury because I didn't want to sprint down the mountain because I wasn't going to give up and he wasn't going to give up. So.